Hi, welcome everybody. We are here for a screencast to learn the basics of setting up our Haiku class. This is focused for our Early Childhood Center and our first and second grade classes, which are going to be using Haiku primarily as a universal website to communicate with our parents. So if you recall from our training, this was the basic template that we started with, which will have all the necessary pieces that we're looking for. Again, we're hoping you'll find a creative way and colorful way to show it the way you'd like. But essentially, if you look here on the page, on the left side, there's a welcome page. So welcome to Mora Blank's class, or to Mrs. Blank's class. And on this welcome page that parents will see when they first come in, so at first we're going to want you to put up some kind of welcome message, which I'm sure many of you have already either written or have in your mind from back to school night, orientation. This would be a couple of sentences, what you'd want to have the parents seeing, at least for the next couple of weeks when they first come to your site. Perhaps a little box of how to use this website, just to kind of describe to the parents what they're going to see in terms of this welcome page. And then again, for the preschool at least, we'll talk about the first and second graders slightly differently, but in the preschool is going to be using this as a weekly update page, similar to what was done in the past with their newsletter. So essentially on this first welcome page is those two pieces. Class picture, as we mentioned, we're going to have everyone take a picture of their class in the next couple of days, so we could put up a nice picture of the class. Any announcements, and we're going to see this announcements box is actually also on the weekly page, so that any announcements that get put here can also end up on that weekly page, so that it appears in both places. Showing pictures of the classroom. Again, these are just some default pictures that are on the computer, and as we mentioned in the training, there's different ways to have these pictures viewed. At this point, it's just a a series of pictures all coming down here, and then at the end we'll show you, in case you have any YouTube videos, you can embed them nicely into the page. Again, those YouTube videos don't necessarily have to be on this welcome page, but we will show you how to put that there. So essentially the welcome page should be a little message, perhaps some pictures, a class picture, and some announcements. And then over here on the left we have the weekly update. And again, the content here is for each teacher to decide, but the few things that we put up here, assuming they're applicable to your particular class, again is announcements, but it's the same box, so you're not going to actually put this in twice. You're going to type it in one place and it'll show up in both the welcome and the weekly page. Any other announcements, I'm just going to show you there are two ways to create announcements. That's why there's two here, but in essence you'll only really have one of these. Parsha corner, if you want to put some information, it doesn't actually have to be the corner. As you'll see, you can move around these boxes nice and easily. Ivrit and happy birthday, so you could put up a happy birthday to the names of the kids who have a birthday that week. And again, this is just a different way of viewing pictures as opposed to the way we put them all on the page before. Here you would click on them and go through a little slideshow. Now, again, this video is geared towards the preschool and the first and second grade, and we'll talk in our private meetings exactly how you might want to make it your own and creative. Again, we're not looking to stick you into a little box and do it exactly the way we have it set up here. But for anybody who does like our template and wants to kind of just take this template and bring it into your class, we can help you do that as well. So for the purposes of the next few moments, as I show you how to do each of these pieces, I'm going to take you first how to log into Haiku. So you would go into your HALB Google account, you'd go to gmail.com and log in. And I'm just going to show you that from a different page over here for a second. If you're in your HALB Gmail, you would go to the apps button over here, click on more, scroll all the way down, and you'll have Haiku Learning right there, and that will take you into Haiku Learning directly. Again, remember that Haiku and Google are one and the same, so therefore you log into one place. The other option is you could actually go to halb.haikulearning.com and then you would click on the left. Do not use this side on the right. It will not work because your account is merged with Google. If you're in Helm, DRS, or SK, click on the appropriate one. And then, if you're not already logged in the same web browser to your email, it will ask you to do so. So you could click on this one. I'm going to click sign in. I'm not yet signed in on this browser, so I would put in my jrothman@helm.org and my password, excuse me, and it will take me straight in. So again, very straightforward. Either you go directly to help.haikulearning.com, click sign in, and then sign in with your Gmail. For most of us, we probably keep our Gmail signed in all the time on our computer, so you would actually just click that and you'll head right in. Or the other way, as I mentioned before, is if you're starting off in your Gmail, you click over here on the apps button, click on more, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see Haiku Learning is there. It's the same thing. It's just a question of preference of how you want to go in. Okay. So let's jump right in. I created a totally blank class just to display how we add each of those components, and we're going to keep going back and forth between the template. First thing is, do we want to change our colors? You'll notice on this one we have this colorful, little handprints over here. So the way you would change that is your theme. So once you're in your class, you would go to Manage Class and Edit Theme. Again, Manage Class, Edit Theme. And there's a whole bunch of them to choose from. My themes is only if you've actually created your own, which you're welcome to do. If you're new to Haiku, I would suggest giving it a little time before you want to do that. School themes, which is just one for each of our 3 divisions, Hal Blue, DRS Green, SK Burgundy. Or Haiku themes, where there's going to be tons of different color schemes for you to choose from. And again, although we chose this one over here for our template with these colors and these font types, everyone is welcome to choose whatever it is that they would like. So I'm just going to scroll through just to show you how many different ones there are, and I'm going to click on this one. You can preview it before you choose, and then when you decide which one you want, you just click apply, and it'll apply it right into your class. If you choose at some point later that you don't like it, you can always change it. I probably just wouldn't recommend changing it too frequently so it doesn't confuse the parents. But in any event, again, Manage Class, Edit Theme, and just to show you again, I'll click on Haiku Themes, and I will pick on a different one this time, a nice autumn one. Click Apply, and within a couple of seconds it applies it. And now I have my class. So, like we mentioned before, on the left side is the pages. So first, we mentioned that we're going to want to have a welcome page. Right, let's click over here on the welcome. So you're going to call this welcome page by clicking on it here, and I'm going to just say welcome to Rabbi Rothman's class. But you could say welcome to Class 1G or Kita Aleph, whatever it might be that your class is. That changes the text right here, and you'll notice it changed it right here on the side as well. So that's my welcome class, my welcome page. And just so that we get a few pages going, I'm going to add another page. And now I have some choices. Where do I want to add it? Do I want to insert this page at the bottom of the list, which is what I want? Or do I want to make a sub-page? We're going to see in a few minutes that making sub-pages is important as well. I am going to just call this, again, this is primarily for the preschool. First and second grade teachers might do it this way too, or they may want to organize it slightly differently, and we can talk about that. But I'm just going to call this weekly news, and I'm going to have it saved, and it's going to come put it right here on the bottom of the list. Just to show you again, I'm going to add one more page, and this time I'm going to make it a sub-page of weekly news. Right? Or a welcome, I don't need a welcome, a subpage. And here I'm going to give it a name. Now this is up to you. Do you want to call it Week of September? Today's the 6th. Do we want to call it the week of September 6th, or Monday would I guess be the 8th? Or you could call it Parsha by the Parsha week. You could call it really by anything that you want. And I click Save, and you'll see here it's like a sub-page to the weekly news. And I could keep going, adding more pages, I'm going to add one more just so you can see one other thing. Week of September. I guess that's the 16th. I'm not sure if my dates are perfect, but it's okay for this. Now, here, I don't want it at the bottom of the list. I want it as a sub-page, not to week of September 8th, but to weekly news. And now I'm going to click Save. And you'll see over here on the left, I have weekly news and 2 sub-pages. Now, in this case, my pages are good. But one other button to show you over here is how to organize your pages, which at first you won't need because you'll only have a few pages. But if you click on it, it will give you a view of all your pages, and you can literally drag them around, move them top and bottom, make a subpage into its own page, or its own page into a subpage. So you don't really have to be concerned when you create the pages if you put it in the wrong spot. You can easily drag them around. I'm going to click Cancel because I didn't save anything or change anything. The one other thing which we'll talk more about is publishing. There's a little radio sign here as opposed to this one which is colored in. These are not. That means it's published, which means that if it's published, it's public to the parents. If it's not published, then that means the parents cannot see it. So this would be a great way for you to be able to work on your pages for the coming week without it actually being there for the parents to see. But when you're ready to publish the week of September 8th, you click on that radio sign and you have some choices. You could either choose Publish It Now, and if I do that and click Save, you'll see it's going to turn into the orange color. Alternatively, let's say here, week of September 6th, I'm not ready for that. I could say Publish It On, and I look at the dates, and I could choose to put it on to September 16th. Yeah, I was off on my dates. I chose Tuesday. It's okay. And you can even have it turn off on a certain day and time, right? You can choose not just to publish it on a certain day. You can publish it on a certain day until a certain day. So that's nice features. It's not, a make or breaker because it's really easy just to come on in here when you want to. And if it was published and you want to unpublish it, just go back here and click on Unpublish. So really that summarizes everything you need to know in terms of the in terms of the organization of the pages. Now let's take a look again at our template. So we had a little welcome box. So let's get a little welcome box with our little message. So the main button right here is Add Content Block. That's the one that you're going to use most frequently. And again, today we're just going to look at a couple of the pieces. If I click on Add Content Block, I'm going to click on On-Page Text. If I click on that, it literally is going to ask me first for a block title and then the place to put my text. You must give each content block a title. That's just the way it works. If you don't want that title for some reason to show up, you can always hide it, but you must give it a title. In this case, we want it to show up. I'm going to say welcome message. Again, you're welcome to give that title something different. And in first grade, we will ... And I'm going to just do some gibberish. You'll give it a couple of lines. That won't look so nice. And you just type it. Again, no need for extra work. If you've already written something like this in Word, you could just come on in here and copy and paste whatever it is that you've done. So again, this is just the box to put it in. There are some other features in terms of editing. You could, if you take your text and you want it centered, you can click on center. You can make it bigger, and all that you'll play around with. You can change the fonts to something that you like. You can change the colors if that's something that you like. You can kind of a little background. There's all kinds of things. You can add images here, which you might want to do. I'll just show you that one, and then we're not going to go through all of these. If I click here, add image, I can do that, and I can actually look to my computer for an image. Let's see what's on my computer's main pictures. Probably that nice little desert picture I like. And if I do that, give it a second. And then essentially in this welcome message, I'm actually putting this picture. I've got some choices where to put it, how big to put it. In this case, it's too big that way. I'm going to just put a little thumbnail so it's small, so you can just see what this looks like. And again, that's really small, and you may never want to do that, but I can always go back and go back to my image properties by right-clicking on it, and I can change it if I want to. Again, most of you are not going to bother with the pictures here, but again, all I did was I gave the text box a name. I've chosen a couple of editing features, typed my message, maybe I'll put a picture, maybe not, and then I'm going to click Save. And then you'll notice it put my welcome message on the side. But as we mentioned before, it's as simple as dragging it over. And you will notice that the boxes in the main part of the page here are bigger. If I move it over here, it's going to condense it to be smaller. So you will be able to use both sides, but you're going to have to see what you want to put where. So that's my welcome message box. The other thing I put up there was how to use this website. So that's going to be the exact same process. Just to review, add content block, on page text, and here I'm going to write how to use this website. And now I'm going to write, this is how to use this website. Again, you're going to give the directions of how it's going to be there, what parents should expect, and so on. I'm going to click Save. And you'll see again it put it over here. I'm going to drag it down. So now so far on my welcome page, what have I done? I have my welcome message and how to use this website. Now class picture. Now for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to assume that you know how to take a picture on a camera and upload it to your school computer or whatever computer you're going to be using. So I am going to go back to my page, again add content block, but this time instead of on page text, I'm going to choose images. Now again, follow here because there's a bunch of choices, none which are or I should say you can always change things in terms of appearance. So I'm going to write class picture because in this case it literally we would want to be a picture of our class. In this case, and you'll see why in a minute, I'm going to choose all images on the page because in this case I only am going to take one picture. And I'm going to click Next. You will notice I skipped over this before, but you can choose right here where on the page to put it. Now this is not crucial because you could always drag it around like I showed you, but it shows you top column 1, bottom column 1, top column 2, bottom column 2. I'm going to choose top column 2, and I'm going to click Next. Now it asks you to choose files. So I'm going to choose a file. Again, I have pictures on my computer, so I'm going to take this nice picture of tulips, and I'm going to assume that that was my class picture. In your case, you'll have your class picture taken and put up on your computer. Click Open, click Upload, give it a few seconds. If it's only one picture, it shouldn't take long, and I'm going to click Finish. And you'll notice right over here, it looks like the picture I chose was a little too big, so that's why you're not seeing it. If I bring it over here, I'm not sure what happened to our picture. Let's edit that. Click on that and go back to Edit. Let's go back and take this picture out. And I'm going to click on Add More Files and choose a picture again. Let's go back to my desert. Upload. And now I think we're just going to save. There's the picture. And there's my picture. So this would be your class picture. If you drag it over, it will be there just a little smaller, but I think for a class picture that's fine, but again you can choose where to put it. So we've done add content block, on page text, and images. Those are the two main things you're going to use to get started. Let's just look back at our main page, our welcome page, and the only other thing here which we haven't done yet is class announcements. So let's do that. Now we're going to go to add content block, but we're going to change over here to connect and assess. Now, just to keep in mind, you always could do a regular on-page text and call a block announcements, and there's nothing wrong with that. The advantage to doing it this way is I'm going to put it on both pages, and therefore when you create an announcement on one page, it will go to the other page as well. So I like this way. Click on announcements, assessments, assignments. This is going to be more used for the older grades. Click announcements, and I'm going to keep the name of it announcements. And in this case, I'm going to choose the block placement, and I'm going to say put it bottom of column 2 under my class picture. And I'm going to click save. And there it is. It's blank. But now what I can do is start typing in here to give myself an announcement. Remember to bring in your, I don't know, what should we remember? Your sneakers for gym. Maybe that's not as good for the younger kids, but it's good enough. And I'm going to click enter, which is going to open up this edit announcement box. It already has my information there, but now I have an opportunity again, if I should want to change it in terms of the style or the font and so on. I'll just do that just so that you see a couple different things. I'll choose my size and I'm going to click save. And now what you'll see all the way down here on my announcements, remember to bring your sneakers for gym. And this is the general welcome page. We've gone through how to create on-page text and images. Now what we're going to do is jump over to our weekly news page, and we're going to jump to week of September 8th. Now you'll see how we set this page up is really using the same features that we've already learned. So if we look at our template, here you go. So we have class announcements. So now watch what we can do so that the announcements appear on both pages. We're going to go back to that welcome page. Okay, this is a little bit, I don't want to say advanced, but it's one step, further. Hang on one second. I think as I'm looking at this, let's go back to Welcome to Rabbi Rothman's class. Okay, so we're back at my welcome class where that announcement was that we made. If we click here on the settings button and go to copy, it's going to take this exact box and copy it to wherever I want to put it. So this is great for other teachers who have multiple classes. You can take something and put it into 2 places. In this case, for the preschool and the 1st and 2nd grade, we're even keeping it in the same class. So I'm going to choose that test class. That was the name of the class I've been using. And I can choose the page to put it. So what I want to do, it's on my welcome one. I want to put it onto the week of September 8th. And I'm going to click next. You could put it in more than one place. I'm going to click copy. So now I was on my welcome page, which is where this announcement was. And look what happens when I go now to my week of September 8th. Right there is that same announcement block. If I add an announcement here, it will show up on the welcome page as well. So I really like this announcements, again, by doing it by add content block, connect and assess, and announcements. Okay, what's left is really just review of the other things that we've done. So let's take a look at this template. We have our announcements. Now let's talk about pictures. Because Parsha Corner and Ivrit and Happy Birthday, I don't really have to teach you anymore because these are all just text box. These are all add content block, on page text. So I'm not going to go through those again. We've done a few. But let's do a little bit with pictures, and I think that'll be enough for us to get started. And they're really just a bunch of different options of how you want your pictures to look. So I'm assuming that you're going to have lots of pictures that you want to share with your parents. If I click on add page text, on add content block, back on the content side, images. So here we're going to say Hanukkah party. And here where you have 3 choices. Again, these are just how you want it to present. Do you want all the pictures on the page exactly? Do you want it more like a slideshow? And these 2 are similar. In this case, you're going to have thumbnails on the page with the slideshow. Here you're going to have the first image on the page with a slideshow. It's really not such a big difference, and I'll show you them all. And you can always change back and forth once you've added the pictures, so really don't lose sleep over this one. I'm going to keep it on this one for now and click next. Here I choose my files, so I'm going to click on choose files. Again, I'm going to look at my computer, and now I'm actually going to take all 8 of these pictures, and I'm going to highlight them all. and then click Open. And give it a second, click Upload. Now, this part will take a little bit longer, maybe 30 seconds or so, just because it's 8 pictures. The more pictures, obviously, the longer it will take. And I wouldn't recommend having more than 10 or 15 pictures in any one photo album, just to make it easier for parents to view. If you have more than one event going on that week, then just add more than one image blocks. I just would separate them for ease of view. So here they are, all the pictures. Technically, you could put captions. I don't really think we're going to care too much about that now, although it would definitely be cute and more personal if we could make a mention of, who the kid was or what he was doing. And you could literally just say, here, I'll just do it on the first one. David learning today. Whatever the picture might be. And I'm going to click Finish. Again, these captions are only if you want to. And now what's going to happen is you'll see all of them as thumbnails, which means small. But if I click on any one of them, I can see it big, and then I can click through them and see the slideshow in big. It's just a question of what's going to show up on the page here. Here, I'll show you by doing the same pictures in a different way. Add images. Now I'm going to do a first image on slide. And I'm going to click Next. Oops. This is a good mistake, so you see that. Please correct. Title can't be blank. I must give it a title. So now I'm going to call it Thanksgiving. ... Go Next. Choose Files. And again, in this case, I'm going to choose the exact same files and click Open. And I'm going to click Upload. Give it a second. And you'll see, again, that went on the side, so I'm going to drag it. Maybe processing. Give it a second. Let's just open it up and look. Should be okay now. There we go. And here you have only that first picture. But if you see here, it says click picture to start slideshow. So I click it, and then again, I can move back and forth. So it's really just a question of how you want it to look. And I'm going to do it one last time, and then we're going to call it a night. Add content block, images. I'm going to just give it a little, whoops, so that was bad. I closed my page. Let's see if I could find it again. Here we go. I can just some gibberish just because it's not going to matter. Click Next, but here I want to do all images on the page. Choose my files, same 8 pictures. Click Open and Upload. And here you'll see the only difference is that all of the pictures are going to be on the page, no slideshow. And again, you could play around with them, see which one you like better, see which one the parents like better. And once it's all there, we will click Finish. Again, depending on the pictures, it may take a few seconds. So here, I'm going to move it over just so that they're bigger. But you'll see now all the pictures are there on the page. There's nothing to click on. There's no slideshow. So we have it. Thumbnails, click on one, and then you'll see the whole slideshow all on a page. Or down below, the one I had before originally, click on one picture to get started in that slideshow. In any event, take pictures, get them on your camera, get them into the computer, and you're ready to upload them. So just to review before we end, remember when you start your class, manage class, edit theme, and that will let you change the setup of your class. You go over here to add pages, and remember you can do sub-pages. You have your add content block, and for the most part we started with page text and images, and over here connect and assess to get to announcements. There's lots of other stuff, but we're going to take it slow. And that's really it. Remember the setup of your pages. For the preschool, we're going to be starting, like we said, to the welcome page and then a weekly news. First and second grade, we may do that slightly different, but in terms of how to do things, it's all the same buttons that I've been pressing. It's just a question how you want to arrange it. And the last thing I'm going to show you, just because at the last training session lots of teachers like this one, let's say you have a YouTube video that you'd like to share with your parents. Or you could technically bring this up in class and share it with your kids. If I go to YouTube, I've already done that and chosen here ABCs. So if we were to click on this ABC song on YouTube, I'm on the YouTube site now. Okay, so that's the video. I go to YouTube and grab that URL of the web address, and I right-click, copy. Go back to my Haiku page again. I'm going to do it. I'll just to review, add a page, and I'll call it a new page because I'm going to get rid of this when we're done, just so that you see it. I'm going to add a new page all the way on the bottom, and the new page, there's nothing here. Add content block and YouTube. YouTube and Haiku really work well together because YouTube is a Google company and Haiku and Google have a good relationship with each other. So I click on YouTube, just paste that URL that I had, click next. Again, if I wanted to write some text next to it, I could. I'm just going to click save, and you'll see again it put it here on the right so I can't see it. Drag it here on the right and to the left, sorry, and right there in the middle of your page is the video. So if you have any videos that you'd like to share with your parents, that's another great way to go. Okay, I hope this screencast tutorial was helpful, and I wish everyone luck, and I'm around if anybody needs help. Have a great day.